I'm going to do Rob words. The world's smallest language. What would that be? I don't know. Let's check it out.
Between 250,000 and a million words, depending how you count them. That's loads. We know that languages can manage with fewer. Spanish has something like 150,000. Can a language really function with just 120 words?
Oh, no way. Man, we can learn this. We can learn this one in a week. If you really... 2 weeks. Come on, let's take our time. 2 weeks, we can learn this.
Let's find out. Toki ya, mian waputo. Hello, it's another Rob words, and I've been exploring Toki Pona, what is often called the world's smallest language. And
oh, this is fascinating. How did this even evolve?
by the way, I've found no reason to doubt that claim. To explain how it works, why it works, who speaks it, and why it means so much to those who do, I need to introduce you to a couple of people.
Jan Usawi is my Toki Pona name, Usawi being the name part of that, and I make music in Toki Pona.
Wow. Oh, goodness gracious, though, because if you make music in Toki Pona, which actually sounds kind of cool, but I'm just saying 120 words, you make 3 songs, you already use every word. Well, I guess word combinations, you can swap it around.
Jan Usawi is a ridiculously talented writer, singer, and producer, and also the first person I've ever interviewed with antlers. And I also want you to meet Jan Lakuse, a Toki Pona Discord server.
I think, honestly, too many words is just overrated.
Together they're going to help us...
Who needs 150,000 words when you can... 120 words, what the heck do these people even say? Man, it's interesting, though, because it's a matter of prioritization. What is the most important, in fact, if not fundamental, core aspects of a language so that you can still use it to communicate successfully, avoiding everything else? I guess you don't really need a word for philosophy, and you definitely do not need the word for polyglot. But I wonder, like, you do need the word eat, and I guess you don't really need the word I'm hungry. You could just say, I want to eat.
You're wondering about the names, right? Well,
yes, okay.
All will be explained. But first off, what is Toki Pona?
Yes.
Well, it's a conlang, a constructed language.
Oh, don't do that to me, come on. I was already fascinated by what culture only used 120 words and they're not in the Paleolithic. How did they do it?
Invented back in 2001 by a woman called Sonia Lang, who, by the way, was really helpful when I contacted her about this video.
Okay,
she describes Toki Pona as her philosophical attempt to understand the meaning of life in 120 words.
Which is fancy speech to say I gave up trying to make the language, maybe? No? Am I being a jerk?
Toki Pona means good language, or indeed simple language in Toki Pona itself. And the multiple interpretations of the name gives you an idea of how it comes to have so few words.
Okay.
How many precisely? Well, actually, not 120 anymore. Words have been added as users have invented them, and they have been adopted by other speakers. The Toki Pona dictionary, published in 2021, contains 181 words.
Okay, no problem.
Although some of them are used by just a very small number of people, others are actually typos of other Toki Pona terms. So the book says that there are 137 essential words in Toki Pona. But other people will tell you differently. Some people use fewer than 120. 120, 137, 181, whatever.
I know a lot of people that I think should definitely use less than 120 words. In fact, if they kept their mouths shut, it would be a fantastic gift to mankind. But here we are, 120.
It's a tiny number compared with other languages.
Yeah.
So how does it do it? Well, for a start, Toki Pona comes without a lot of the hang-ups of other languages. For example, there are no articles, there's no the or a in Toki Pona.
Fine.
That only saves 3 words compared with English, but it saves a heck of a lot more compared with, say, German.
In Italian, if it were the articles il, lo, la, I, gli, le, you would save 6. Not bad.
There are also no grammatical cases. A word doesn't change if it's the subject or object, direct or indirect. In fact, there are no tenses either. Wow. There are no different versions of words depending on whether you're describing the past, present or future. And there are no grammatical genders.
That's actually fine, because if you think about it, if you say tomorrow, if you want to say, hey, tomorrow I'll go to Rome, maybe you're making your mind right now, what am I going to do tomorrow? I'll go to Rome. You can say, I go to Rome. It sounds wrong simply because that's not how the language has organically evolved. But in fact, in Italian, even though there is a future tense in Italian, So andare is to go. Domani, tomorrow. Andrò would be I will go. A Roma, to Rome. Do Italians use it? Some. I guess when you feel really, you want to be very proper. But a lot of Italians just say domani vado, tomorrow I go to Rome. Because at the end of the day, you already know when I'm talking about. It's the future, because I said tomorrow. So we are freaking lazy. And how many times have I said, domani andrò da mio cugino, domani andrò da Luigi, domani vado a Roma. Yeah, I mean, it's just the first one that comes to my mind. If you say domani andrò, I will go, it doesn't sound wrong to me. It's just that I'm lazy. But that problem is that out of 70 million Italians, there is a lot of lazy MFOs in there, okay? So there's that. If you're enjoying this video so far, please take a moment to check out my Patreon page. With as little as a $5 support, you can help us ensure that we can continue to produce high quality and high researched content. And at the same time, you get access to polls, extra videos, unlisted streams, and much more. Thank you so much.
Either, so you don't need different masculine, feminine, or neuter versions of words. What's more, there are only 3 pronouns, where English has I and we. Pona just has me. It doesn't distinguish between the singular and the plural. Ditto for you, while some languages have a different word for you when it's just one.
I love that he put y'all. I mean, I do hear it a lot here in the southern states. It's interesting. I mean, true, because you know what I noticed in English? The fact that you really use you for singular and plural, oh, that's more of a modern English thing, because in Middle English, there was a distinction between, you'd say thee, thy, thou for you, singular, and then ye for plural. There was a distinction. It's just for some reasons you just dropped it and took the plural and applied it to the singular. That's really what you did. But yeah, I noticed that there are various ways. Y'all is definitely a thing in southern states in the US. People who are not from, another way would be to say like you guys. That's one way that I've heard people to be really, if you really wanted to specify, because otherwise you is both. And if you really need to specify, I mean, there are ways, I guess, to make it obviously plural, but
person or you when it's multiple. Toki Pona just has sina. And where we have he, it, and they, Toki Pona just has ona. And these words also work for me, my, your, yours, his, her,
possessive
theirs,
pronouns, okay,
etc. We'll talk about the most amazing way in which Toki Pona saves on words in a second. But first, I want to quickly tell you about something that has saved me a heck of a lot of time while researching this video. I've just started using the Opera browser, and it has dramatically improved how I surf the web. I've been genuinely really impressed. One incredible feature is the AI service that it has built in. It's called Aria, and you can ask it anything you like what is a conlang, for example, or you can get it to translate or summarize the text in a web page that you're on. Another feature that has made a really big difference to me is the ability to group tabs in tab islands. I'm often researching multiple videos at once, so normally I have loads of browser windows open, but tab islands meant I could keep all my newsletter tabs together, all my Toki Pona tabs together, and I mean, just look how neat it looks. There are so many more features: integrated messaging and music, apps, file sharing, a built-in ad blocker and VPN to make browsing the web secure and distraction-free, and more. I strongly recommend giving it a go. Use my link in the description to download the Opera browser.
Use this link in the, this is from 2 years ago, though.
For free, for a faster, safer, and smarter internet experience.
Okay.
So the biggest way in which Toki Pona saves on vocab is what's really remarkable about it. Toki Pona has very few words, but each one of them can be translated into a multitude of things. They are broad concepts. It's like how our word fruit covers loads of different varieties of fruit.
Okay,
and can be used to refer to
fruit ninja, etc.
any one of them. A banana is a banana, yeah, but you can also refer to it using the broader term of fruit. Say, pass me the fruit when there's just a banana on the table, and you're still going to get the banana.
Yeah.
So the Toki Pona word hiwen means hard object, but you can use it where we would say stone or metal or brick. The word kasi is vegetation, but you can also use it for plant or even herb.
You don't need so many different words for like...
If you're reading the instructions for a recipe and it says, add the vegetation now, add the vegetation, and I don't know about that, man.
Room, a building, a skyscraper, an underground bunker. You just need tomo.
Just a general word for a building or room.
Or just some sort of space enclosed space that a human occupies.
But what happens when you want to be more specific.
Change language.
When Jan Lacuse and I were trying to work out how to explain this, we settled on the story of the three little pigs.
Splendid.
So the first foolish piggy builds his house out of straw, which in Toki Pona can be kasi pan,
vegetation.
Vegetation. But if you wanted to differentiate between the building materials of the other two swine's abodes, you could describe one as kiwen kasi, solid object made from plant, and the other as kiwen wawa.
Oh, wow, look at that. So basically it's nonsense. I'm sorry. He's the nice guy. I'm gonna be the real one. It's just nonsense. It doesn't work. It doesn't freaking work. It's not, no.
Which means solid object that's strong.
Right.
Oh, and that's another thing. All content words can serve as objects, verbs, and modifiers, like adjectives, depending on where they are in the sentence. And you can just line up the modifiers and gradually refine the idea. Actually, Sonia Lang talks about it in this book, The Language of Good, which is a little outdated now, but has been a Bible for learners of Toki Pona over the past decade. She says modern...
Hey, you know what? If you're a learner of Toki Pona, I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to make fun of you, because at the end of the day, if you're enjoying it, you're having a good time. I mean, there are people that are learning freaking Elvish. There are people that learn all sorts of stuff that, and I don't know, if it's in your free time and you're having a great time doing it, do it, have fun, absolutely. I agree with whatever makes you happy. I don't care, have fun. I'm not going to become a scholar of Toki Pona, though. I'm not interested.
Languages are cluttered with complex ways to express the simplest thing. What is a geologist but a person of earth knowledge?
It's just a matter of shifting your perspective from this English is hyper-focused, and most world languages, if we're being honest, hyper-focused on very specific things into a different schema. It's just...
See, that's what I mean, though. The creator of the thing, if it's a little experiment, it's fine. And even if it's a thought-provoking experiment, that's fine. But I feel like she's trying to justify, be like, you don't really need it. Yes, you do, because a person of earth knowledge is 5 words, geologist is 1. So honestly, in the economy of a communicative system, it just makes more sense. So that's the only thing. It's because now she's explaining, well, you don't really need it. It's all bullshit. All this organic language creation generated by humans. Who needs word salads now given? There are some creators that do use word salads in a way that impedes communication. Me included sometimes. It's not like I'm going to pretend that I don't. I just like my words. I don't know what to tell you. So I get it. If she was using that, if she was showing a video of me being condescending and using like the words, whatever, then fine. But for regular, like geologists, come on.
You're always talking with someone.
Yes.
And so the ability to ask clarifying questions, constantly be checking in with your interlocutor is super important to understanding what they mean.
Ambiguous, but it's a description that I've noticed speakers tend to resist. And I kind of see their point.
No, you don't.
Words themselves aren't ambiguous. They mean what they mean. But what they are, I suppose, is vague. It's like when we say animal, we mean animal. It's not ambiguous. But if there are multiple animals in the field, it is vague. So how easy is it to actually express yourself in Toki Pona? Well, that's a question I put to Jan Usawi, whose music I absolutely love. I was listening to it the whole time while I was trying.
He's such a nice guy, though.
I knew from the beginning, like, this was going to be an interesting songwriting challenge to take on. There's only so many words to use. There's only so many rhyme schemes, and so only so many words to rhyme within them. That often ends up being like the bigger challenges. I find one line that I like, and I'm like, I'm very constrained in how I end up rhyming this.
But it's not just a small number of words.
That's fine, actually. The challenge aspect of it, I understand 100%. I mean, a lot of poets, even the famous ones, enjoy that good challenge and then showing off their ability to still make it, even though you would put all these metrics and all of these devices to make it a lot harder.
That's a challenge, right? Because of the huge variety of interpretations that a word can have, a single sentence can have a variety of meanings. That's why context is hugely important to understanding Toki Pona. Without it, lyrics can be, ambiguous.
I think at times I've given the impression like this is only going to make sense once you talk to her in English and they explain it afterwards. And I understand where that comes from, but my intention is always like, I'm not going to explain the concept fully, but then like if you derive something from it that's totally different from what I expected, like that's now a new meaning of the song as well.
And Usumi is a great lyricist. We've had little sort of like, just among me and my friends, just little things where we compare, like we write different translations of her songs, we compare. Like, oh, what does yours say? What does mine say?
I really enjoy writing in Toki Pona for that flexibility in meaning. A great example of this, and of this like artist-fan interaction that I've come to really love, is with one of my earlier songs, Monsuta. There's like a frequent recurring line, mi wile alasa. Mi means I, wile means to want to, or want or need. And then alasa is a word for hunt, but it's often used metaphorically to mean to try to do something. So I, in the song, where like it's meant to be kind of aggressive and monster.
Oh, I see. So I could say in Toki Pona, I'm hunting to make my pasta sauce today. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's bolognese, there is meat involved, so I don't mind that.
Had the thought of like, I want to hunt as being closer to the like original intended meaning, but someone came in and said, this whole song takes on a very different light if you read it as meaning I want to try.
That's how it is with art, right? Differing interpretations add to it, they don't take away. So we talked about how many words there are and what some of those mean.
Yeah.
But we haven't talked about the words themselves. Where did they come from? Have these arrangements of vowels and consonants just been plucked out of thin air?
They appear to be very short. I'm noticing 1 to 2 syllables, apart from like pakala, that's 3 syllables, but a lot of these are monosyllabic or bisyllabic. This isn't that strange, by the way. It might sound strange when compared to English, Italian, up to a certain extent Japanese. But in Mandarin, for instance, a lot of the words are either 1 or 2 syllables, so it's not unheard of. Problem is that Mandarin solves that problem by adding the tonal system. Precisely because of that.
For the most part, they're inspired by words from languages from all over the world. From
tempo.
Georgian, from Finnish, from Japanese, from Tongan, from another constructed language, Esperanto, and from English. And you see this? This is yellow. One of my favorites is the word for damaged, pakala. It's taken from the English-based Creole tok pisin, where the word is bagarap. That, in turn, is a rendering of the English phrase buggered up. But you can see with pakala and yellow that the words aren't exactly the same as their tok pisin and English equivalents. Right. They've been changed to fit in with a set of rules guiding the construction of Toki Pona words and also the Toki Pona alphabet, a process called Toki Ponization. The Toki Pona alphabet has just 14 letters, 9 consonants, which are pronounced the way they are in English, except for J.
For the J, it's a Y, yeah.
Which is pronounced Y, which is normal. English is weird for pronouncing it the way it does. And then there are the 5 vowels that we're used to, but they're always pronounced the same way. They're pronounced like they are in Spanish or Japanese, loosely A, E, O, and U.
Is incorrect with the O, though. In all Romance languages, this is a O. In Italian, we have 2 versions. I believe in Spanish too, the quality can differ. It can be O or O, so closed or open. No one says O. Did he say that, though? I don't want to be... Let me see.
Japanese, loosely A, E, O, and...
He did say O.
I mentioned Toki Pona has rules for building words. Well, just quickly, a word can start with a vowel or a consonant, but after the first syllable, every syllable has to consist of a consonant followed by a vowel. The only consonant that can end a syllable is an N.
Okay, well, I think I have spent enough time with Toki Pona as far as I'm concerned. But once again, not particularly interested, but if that's something you like, and you're like, no, you know nothing, Jon Snow. This is amazing. Good for you. Good for you. Good video, though. Rob is great. I mean, I appreciated that the massive creator like Rob Words gives exposure to people that are having fun with this, because I imagine it's a minute community, because I can't really imagine. But oh my gosh, I hope the polyglots don't get a hold of this just to add an extra number. Oh, please don't.